Court Order Cook. My name is Bitsy. So today I'm going to be talking about what I wish I knew before I went to law school. So I am going into my second year of law school. My 1L year, which is what your first year of law school is called, was really challenging for me. It was the most academically challenging thing I have ever done in my entire life. I have my handy dandy moleskin here, and I have written down a few things that I wish I knew before I went to law school, and I'm going to share them with you. My first one, the first thing I wish I knew about law school before I went to law school is Elle Woods was wrong. She was wrong. I don't know if it was because it was the 2000s or what, but Elle Woods said,
What, like it's hard?
law school is hard. And I completely wasn't even prepared fully for just how challenging it would be. It completely consumed my entire life. A lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of note-taking. I took 4 classes for my first semester of 1L. I was in contracts, civil procedure, torts, and legal rhetoric, which is a legal writing course. And it was honestly a lot. I came straight from undergrad. They call people like me KJDs, kindergarten through JD, so I'm one of those people who is just going straight through, just getting my education without a complete break. Whether you took time off or did not, I think you'll probably come to find, if you choose to go to law school, that law school was harder than college. The second thing that I wish I knew is it's important to have a strong support system and or something that matters to you. Law school is just so hard, and it's good to have an interest that isn't law school related, or to have family, friends, other people who support what you're doing, because you're going to want to have people to talk to and people to fall back on whenever you're struggling. So I think that it's really important to know what drives you, what you're passionate about, what keeps you going, because if you're like me, you're going to have a time in law school where you're not really sure why you're doing this, you're not really sure why you're there, or all the studying and late nights spent doing homework, is it worth it? So I think it's important to keep in mind what you're passionate about and keep friends, family, and other people close who support you. The third thing is, and I already sort of talked about this, but it is nothing like undergrad. In undergrad, you know, it was undergrad. You should not be like me, and I'm a typical just textbook procrastinator, but that's really not to your benefit in law school. You should try to kick that habit. I'm really trying, and I think I got better second semester when I realized that my study habits from undergrad wouldn't carry over in law school. It just doesn't work. You can keep sort of just the baseline of what worked for you in undergrad and prior studies, but I think you'll find that you're going to have to do a lot more note-taking, a lot more studying. Speaking of studying, it's not just about memorizing the material, it's about knowing how to work with the material. So that means doing practice problems, practice writing essays, which I did a lot more of second semester, and it really pays off. It's that more experiential learning and working with the legal concepts that you're learning in class, and not just trying to rote memorize every single thing you learn in class. It's better to work with the material and really develop a full understanding of what the course taught you. Also, A lot of my professors, they always said that the top students in their class were the ones who took notes by hand, pen and paper. That's what I'm going to do for my 2L year, at least for the first semester. I'll see if my final grades improve by me taking notes by hand and just not becoming a stenographer for an entire class. Number 4 is that you will have very little free time, which is definitely something I experienced. Law school, especially if you're full-time, but even if you're part-time and you're working and then you're taking classes at nights, there's probably not going to be much time for you to just be with yourself or to be hanging out with friends all the time like you did in undergrad or your life before law school. It's going to be so much different, and you'll find that you just don't have the time you once did to do all the other things that you enjoy doing. So I think it's important to, when you're making a schedule, I'm a big planner and a big scheduler, I think it's important to carve out time for yourself to break up the monotony of law school and to have something else to fall back on and be something that switches up your day outside of studying, going to class, preparing for finals, just something that you can do in your free time that frees your mind and doesn't add more stress to your life, because law school is already stressful enough, so we don't need more of that. So going off of free time, it's very important to make a schedule. So this year, one of my friends, today actually, she showed me how to use Google Calendar. I was not fluent in Google Calendar until today. So I'm going to have a virtual schedule on my computer that will alert me when classes are, and then if I end up doing an internship this semester, I can add that into my schedule so I can really see what my week looks like day by day, and that for me makes me just feel more organized in general and less overwhelmed about the week. Also, I like to have a planner. I always get mine every year from Bando. I think they have phenomenal planners, and that's something that keeps me organized. I don't like to write my homework on my iPhone or on my computer. I like to have it written down by hand because there's something that's just so fulfilling about being able to cross off everything you do, all your little tasks and all your homework assignments. It gives me joy. It sparks joy for me. What can I say? So definitely make a schedule from the start of the semester. Once you know your classes, just get your schedule going and you will feel better about yourself already. Next, I have that you will fail. I definitely, had my failures this past year. I really struggled with my grades and with my academics and just getting acclimated to law school and a whole new environment, a whole new way of thinking. It really is like learning a new language, learning the law. So be kind with yourself and know that you will fail, and it is okay to make mistakes. It's human, it's normal. I've made them. You will make mistakes, and that is fine. Failure's okay. It's part of life. It's part of law school, but you will overcome and you will learn from your failures. And I learned a lot from getting my 1L grades back, and I think it's really helpful if you come across setbacks that it's important to reach out to your professors, reach out to school counselors, anybody who can help you get back up on your feet and help you succeed and learn strategies that will suit you and help you become a better law student and a better lawyer. I think that's really, really key, is to learn from your mistakes and just keep moving forward. Another thing that I learned in second semester, I learned so much from my first semester, which you probably will too. One of those is that join a study group. My second semester, I got involved in a few different study groups, and I gotta say, it's just super helpful hearing different opinions and being able to talk about cases and concepts and different problems from class and work them out with another group of individuals, because you will be able to fill in gaps in your outline, which you will end up outlining. Outlining is when you sort of consolidate your class notes into just the bare essentials. Don't be like me. Don't have an outline for your con law class. It's 150 pages. I did that. It's not worth it. And that was an open note. So I brought this 150 page outline to my con law class. That's crazy. I wouldn't suggest anybody do that. It didn't help me and it didn't help my grade. So don't do that. Really focus in your study groups. Come up with a good outline that consolidates your notes so they're easy to understand and it's not this crazy long document. It should be something that you can study with, whether it's closed book or an open book exam. So if it's closed, you'll be able to study from it, understand what you're learning, and then you'll have it all up here when you're taking the test, or you'll have it on your desk to reference if your exam is open book. So join a study group because it will help you with all aspects of learning your course material. It's definitely a good idea to find a study buddy. So my next one is to try and stick to a routine. So I don't know, I just don't like waking up super early. I like to get my rest. But second semester, again, you're gonna hear me saying that a lot. Second semester, I started waking up a little bit earlier. And I found that that was really helpful just to wake up, start a fresh day. And if you're waking up at, before 7 a.m., getting to school by 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 at the latest, you'll just feel better about yourself. I felt better about myself because I felt like I had more of my day to do other things besides worry about catching up on readings. If you wake up earlier or do your work at a time that is most productive for you, I think you'll just have a better law school experience in general. And if your routine doesn't work, be flexible and be willing to switch it up a bit until you find a routine that just clicks for you. My next one is I was talking about outlining. You should outline early. My first semester, I made the huge mistake of waiting until after Thanksgiving to outline. You should not do this. Don't put that in the back of your mind. Throw it out. It belongs in the garbage. It is a trash idea to not have your outlines done by Thanksgiving break. Because when Thanksgiving break comes around, you're going to want to go home, be with family, whatever you're going to do, be with friends. You're not going to want to worry about the 4 or 5 classes you have yet to outline for. Don't procrastinate. For me personally, it can be really hard for me to just gather the will to outline. I don't like doing it, but I know for my well-being and for the sake of my GPA, it's really important to outline and to outline early. Don't fall behind. That was my number one mistake my first semester of law school. Don't be like me. Please don't be like me. If there's one thing, you future law student or law student that's entering this year, the one thing you should take away from this video, the number one, the holy grail, I am begging to you, please outline and outline early. Your grades will thank you. Your grades will thank you. Your psyche will thank you. Just please, for the love of all that is good, outline early. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. I'm cringing just thinking about it. This year, I'm gonna outline much earlier because it's just a good thing to do. Don't put yourself in the position to not do well because you procrastinated like I did my first semester. Outline early, flashcard, do whatever works for you. Just get it done. Just start studying. Have it done by Thanksgiving. Have it done by the Macy's parade. Have it done. My next tip is to read the footnotes in your textbook. They might not seem like that big of a deal. They might not seem that important to you, but oftentimes I've noticed a professor will ask about a footnote or it might appear on a final exam. So it's important to, read all the work you're assigned. Don't skip out on it. You will be glad. You'll be glad you did. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I know asking for help, it can be scary, but it's really in your best interest too if you can feel it in your soul that you are not succeeding. Please ask for help. It's one of the most important things you can do. Beside that and outlining early, asking for help and outlining early are the two things that will be your savior in law school. If you're struggling, if it's hard for you to get work done, if something isn't working, if you're not understanding a concept, reach out to a professor, reach out to your school counseling, the registrar, whatever it may be, and get that sorted out, because you don't want anything holding you back, especially when it comes to final season. Better to ask questions sooner rather than later, so you just have clarity. Clarity, we love it. We stan it. Clarity's important. Getting help is cool. 2 thumbs up for getting help. Get help. Get help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Get help. Please get help if you need help. This is my getting help song. Yeah, get help, please. Take care of yourself. My final tip for you is to review after every class, and this is something I am trying to get better at. It's important to review your class notes so that you can retain, that's the word, so you can retain the information better, whether that's with, like I mentioned earlier, with a study group, or taking time out of your day after your classes to go back into your notes. You will never be sorry that you took time out of your day to look back at your notes, and that's something that I'm gonna hold myself accountable for this semester, and to make sure that I'm staying on top of things and reviewing as much as I can. So those are my tips. That's what I wish I knew before I started law school. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Oh, time to go. I have to go to class, but meet me after on the benches, okay?
All right, bye.